everything about it. Suspension, geometry, component package, the wheels, tyres, even the bars now. Everything is so sorted. The control, like I say, it's almost too good to realise how good it is.
My name's Guy Kestevan. I've been a professional bike and kit tester for nearly 25 years. And today, this is the live ride review of Canyon's brand new Spectral CFR.
So this is actually the launch date down in the Surrey Hills, so pre-embargo. But I figured, as we're riding a selection of bikes today, we'd follow Tom down on the mullet bike so you can see his Shakira hips in action. Yes, they offer one mullet bike, which is basically on the CF8 platform, but a couple of small spec changes. And there are also full 27.5-inch bikes and a full range of alloy bikes, including full 29, 27.5 and mullet bikes as well. So definitely a properly full Canyon Spectral range now. How's you feeling, Mr. Marvin?
Right, good. Oh, it's usually on
Well, that's the mullet bike. Also the mullet bike, and the other difference is you get a coil shock in there as well, and room for a bottle. But the bike I'm riding here is CFR, stands for Canyon Factory Racing, and that means you got full premium spec on here. So, factory box 36, front 160mm travel. Oh, that was way too fun not to do again. 230mm 6mm Float X piggyback shock on the rear, giving 150mm of travel. Shimano XTR gear setting with a race pace Next SL super light carbon crank, and Shimano XTR 4-pot brakes running 203mm rotors. And obviously it helps towards the lower gram count overall, so the fact I've dropped down again means I can still catch these guys up, hopefully. But the real difference to the CFR compared to the other bikes is the frame. This, while it looks the same and it's got the same practical features, you've got the same 64-degree head, 76.5 degree seat angle in the low setting, because it's got a ½ degree geometry change. Flip jip, 475mm reach, 437mm, relatively short back end, and fairly low BB height as well. Are all the same. It's actually 300 grams lighter because they've used a higher quality carbon fibre in that same mould, and it's also noticeably sharper in feel as well. It really is premium frame set, and at 2300 grams for a medium frame without shock, that's a weight most brands would call downcountry, let alone full-on category 4 aggro trail enduro. And it's still done with a load of practical features as well. So you've got plumbed internal cable routing for easy servicing, you've got fully replaceable pivot points and shock fixtures, which they borrowed off the Sender downhill bike. All the bolts are accessible from the offside, so chain set doesn't get in the way, so it's easy to access them for servicing. You've got loads of decent frame protection on the chain stays, on the underside of the belly. Got room for a 600mm bolt cage in a side mount. You've got a little accessory mount under the top tube, which Canyon also provide a nice neat little pouch for. So while it's not internal storage, it's very neat, rattle free, in nice and discreet way to get your essentials along with you. And they're also doing a really nice range of tools to go in there now as well, so check out the bike check video for details on those. And features like the quicksell rear axle with the pop out lever, so it's all bolt free at the back end. Just make it a really easy bike to live with. And you've got double sealed bearings right through with Canyon's own special formulation of grease to keep the weather out. And even with a 2.4 in the back and braces across both seat stays, there's loads of mudroom. Well, there are obviously some practicality aspects or problems with the all-in-one carbon bar that comes on this bike in terms of adjustment and fitting lights and GPSs and stuff. The great news is that Leo, the Swedish designer who's head on the Spectral program, has made some alterations compared to the geometry on the similar looking bar on the Spectral on. So basically he's made it feel a lot more rolled back, and so it feels like a proper 780mm wide 40mm stem setup now, and that's a really good balance in terms of the handling of the bike and the feel of the bike as well. So it's light, it's precise, but it's just enough compliance in it to boost the grip. And while they might not be easy rolling on the road, the technical grip of these DHRs and the triple phase suspension on steep and janky climbs is absolutely phenomenal. And while it doesn't feel particularly quick, I've consistently kind of just pedalled away from people who I've expected to catch me up, either because they're fitter or I was a bit broken like I am now. It just very quietly, very unobtrusively gets the job done really, really well. And it's the same pretty much everywhere on this bike. It's almost underwhelmingly brilliant. I'm not surprised. CF8 and CF9 were totally sorted, and this is kind of best of both worlds really. And you got the lightness of the CF9, but with the extra travel and control of the 8. But what blows me away is how stiff this bike is. And then the tracking from that front end, like I say, exceptional for the weight. 13.4 kilo complete bike weight with super light wheels means you just get further, faster, easier for every pedal stroke. So it's not an e-bike, it's certainly pretty close in terms of getting extra runs in. And actually, I think it feels sharper, more precise, kind of more alive than the standard Spectral, which is so planted and so on point. It's almost crushingly competent in terms of giving you a thrill. But I definitely think there's room for a version like the old CF9 with an inline shock and slightly shorter travel fork, something like a Pike Ultimate, and a faster rolling set of tyres, so maybe a Dissector, Aggressor, something like that, in a slightly smaller size. Could probably shave about a kilo out of this bike and really play up to the sharper, lighter advantages of this frame set, because at the moment it kind of hides just how quick and how responsive it is. And also because there's quite a sharp transition from anti-squat in the start of the stroke through to a progressive ending, it's quite hard to get most of the way into the suspension stroke. It tends to sit fairly low dynamically, but actually getting full travel, you've got a job on with the default spacer setup. So I actually prefer to run it with a smaller volume spacer in there, because that also means it's not quite as much pedal bob either. So with the default setup, I actually run it with the firm lever on quite a lot of the time, but in terms of chaos control, It is just absolutely ridiculous. Properly so sure-footed, so safe.
And as much as I'm bitching about the DHRs, they can't be that slow.
Afternoon.
Sorry, I can never help myself in those moments.
Everything about it, suspension, geometry, component package, the wheels, tyres, even the bars now, everything is so sorted. The control, like I say, it's almost too good to realise how good it is until you've just totally breezed sections you're normally absolutely messing yourself on, and you're wondering where everybody else has got to behind you, both up and down, which is kind of a surprising thing because it just doesn't feel as quick as it actually is. So I mean, the short answer is this is one of the best trail bikes available already, but by putting this lighter, sharper feeling frame set in it, it's just, I mean, it's got to be up there as one of the ultimate super bikes. But without that super bike price, it really is properly a benchmark bike now. And it doesn't hurt, but it looks brilliant, and it's really friendly long term as well.
So there you go, Canyon Spectral CFI compilation ride done. A truly spectacular, state-of-the-art in terms of geometry, suspension, premium kit, and practicality and pricing as well. Really has got the whole deal pretty much sorted. Although, like I say, for me, I reckon they can go another click. I reckon they can do like a CFR race, even more racier, whatever they want to call it, maybe even SL, and make it even lighter. And I'm almost tempted to experiment with something along those lines myself. But for now, massive thanks to Canyon for lending me the bike. Hopefully I'll be getting the aluminium bike as well when they're available, and maybe the collective mullet bike as well, because I had a very, very short ride on that. I'll be putting something right at the end of this video, just a little clip from the launch when I got about 3 minutes on the bike. But also, you know, hopefully getting an alloy bike as well, because with the range starting about $2.5 grand now, they really have got a lot of this tech and a lot of this amazing riding quality down to a really, really affordable level. But for now, massive thanks to Giro Cycling UK for sponsoring the channel. Thanks to PTs, thanks to Crud, thanks to DMR as well. Massive thanks to my Patreon subscribers who pledge a small monthly amount a monthly amount a month, and they get exclusive, extended, behind-the-scenes edits and ad-free cuts. As a thank you, they actually got a launch video on this bike as soon as the bike broke cover on embargo, which is so, you know, there are perks to paying basically a cup of tea and a biscuit amount into the channel to support it and help me grow it every month. But even if you don't do that, please subscribe, please click for notifications, give this video a thumbs up if you've liked it, watch the Bike Check Tech Talk round as well to get the up-close details on it, and yeah, just tell your mates about it. That's the best way for this channel to grow. If you like what I'm doing, tell your mates about it. If you don't like what I'm doing, then please let me know what you'd rather I did in the comments, though, you know, keep it family friendly. Don't want to scare off the children, but you know, I know it's rough and ready, but hopefully my experience is useful to you. And if there's something I can change to make it an even better viewing experience or give you even more information, then get busy in the comments. You know, let's make it the best it can be for everybody. But for now, I've been Guy Kesteven on Guy Kes TV, talking about the Canyon Spectral CFR.
I've jumped onto Tom's limited mullet bike with a coil, and Tom's on the CFR, and as you can see, well, hello.
Oh, where are you off to?
We got a steep one on. And even though coil shocks can create a setup problem, Canyon even bundle a lighter and heavier spring in with the bike, but they'll let you swap it out for free if that doesn't suit you. I don't think anyone's ever done that before. Straight away, that even on those steeps, there's a lot more clearance with the rear wheel. You're not as likely to buzz it as you are on the full 29er bike I was riding before, but definitely with the coil and the heavier kit and the Assegai on the front, a bit more effort, even on the little kickers. But yeah, it's a good, you know, tell you what, it really brings home how stiff the chassis is, how solid even the Spectral is, and of course, oh, that's before they bring out the bigger bike. So more news on that later.